Jet, good to see you. Are you well?
I'm well, mate, here in the Gold Coast. Nice and it's a bit overcast today, but it's been sunny. I've been getting out in the mornings, going for rides and walks and runs in the nature reserve. So it's great, mate. We've been really keeping focused and zoned in on the moment and the now and what needs to happen right here and now, and pushing forward.
Well, that's all we can do is control the present actions, isn't it, Jet? So we just had a really good session with the team, and you were talking about some of the planning that you've been doing and the coaching with some of the top agents you're working with around the country. Yeah, just give us a little bit of a re-snapshot on that.
Yeah, so I think right now it's the time to be even more structured and to get even more productive with the amount of time that you do have spare that some of us are finding. And I think for me, it's about 90-day plans and really going, okay, the next 3 months, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to look back and go, yeah, I really nailed that. Whether it's work, family, relationship, health, whatever it is, doesn't matter, finance. And then working on a post-it note system where each day you just write down the 4 or 5 of most important things that are linked to your 90-day plan, which is linked to your big macro vision as well, that you want to get done. And I think that brings you into a good zoned focus where you are very fruitful and very productive. I think because there's a creative energy around right now that we don't have when we are when we're back to, let's just call it normal, because that brings with it a whole lot of other, pressures and stresses and processes. But right now there's this energy that's, more creative than anything. So if we can get really creative and really focused on some really good 90-day goals and knock them out of the park each day, we're going to achieve quite a bit across the board holistically in our life at the moment, I think. And, I was on a call yesterday to a young guy really pushing this point because, he's sort of pulled back a little bit because everything's sort of the volume's dropped and he's got a little bit more time, and that time lends itself to creativeness, looking at his business creatively, looking over his life, looking at his relationships, setting up a 90-day plan, spending some time on his listing presentation. There's a whole range of things that he can do in this creative energy right now before he goes back to the game on type of energy.
Yeah, and as we chat now, Jed, it seems like that Australia is slowly reopening for business again, and it felt like there was a bit of sensitivity around hitting the phones and kind of reaching out to those old relationships over the last month or two. But it feels like just over the recent days and week that it's opened up, and I've heard that a lot of our agents are saying that their connect rates in speaking with people have increased a lot, and the average time they're speaking with their past customer base has really increased from maybe a few minutes a phone call to 10 minutes. And one of our top agents is saying up to half an hour per phone call. Because people are really receptive and wanting to, share what they've been up to and understand really where the market is. Yeah,
well, I still think there's a market. It's just gone underground to an extent. And I still think there are questions that need answered, and the good agents are answering those questions. They're not only building good relationships for future potential business, but they're answering the questions that buyers and sellers have right now. What's going on in the market, what's pricing, what's selling, what's not. So if you're that person that's being that trusted advisor and expert, the relationships is going to be even a lot stronger because the market's still there, even though it looks different, and people are asking questions, and they need to get the questions from the people who know the answers, which are you guys, the agents.
Yeah, and that's been, I guess, a trait of many agents for years is that we find ourselves trying to sort of play in the space, that really small window of when the vendor is making the decision to sell now, rather than building the relationship and being the agent of choice before the vendor actually knows that they need an agent, or 6-12 months beforehand, rather than being the agent that just bobs up at the end and then it ends up becoming kind of the lowest fee competition. So in your 90-day plans that you're putting together, Jet, what are some of the key daily activities that the agents are going about doing in order to improve their listing presentation, improve their prospecting, getting themselves their intent right and their mindset right? A little bit of a summary of what some of the post-it notes look like.
So part of the 90-day plan is the holistic approach, so health, family, relationships, business, etc. And in regards to real estate, it's really important, I think, getting back to what I said, that part of the 90-day plan is being that trusted advisor. So what letterbox drop campaign have you got? What text campaign have you got? What phone call campaign have you got? What newsletter campaign? What email campaign have you got? What campaigns have you got running that are answering the questions out there in the marketplace, whether it's a cold marketplace where you're trying to build profile, or whether it's a really hot one where you've already got profile. I think they're the most important things for agents that I'm certainly working with around contacting, building relationships, connecting, getting that trust control, providing information, because they're the ones that are going to be standing at the end when this breaks, and people are going to run to them for the information and run to them to answer the questions that they have. So it's a concerted effort across all those types of Facebook, social media as well, those types of platforms, to answer the questions that the buyers and the vendors are asking now, whatever they are in the marketplace that the person's in. So that makes up the bulk of the 90-day plan. So the activities and the actions are obviously around the campaigns that they're running throughout the day. A lot of agents are going, oh, well, they don't want to hear from us because they're not selling or listing. It's not about that. People still want information. They still want content. They still want value add. And where are they getting it from? Google or the news or wherever. They're not getting the good stuff. They're not getting the good oil that you guys actually have. So I see it as a wasted opportunity if you're not doing that and it's not part of the 90-day plan, because over 90 days, you can run some really good campaigns around information, content, value add, answering questions in your marketplace that are going to elevate your profile, raise you up as a trusted advisor. And then outside of that, it's just maintaining the positive mindset, maintaining the PORT model that we talked about, perspective, optimism, resilience, and taking responsibility, keeping focus, and staying fit, which is really important. And also being, creative with the energy that we have right now across everything that you're doing. Another one is relationships. It's, making relationship growth part of your 90-day plan while you've got the opportunity, because, a lot of people are together more than they've been ever. They've got an opportunity to build closeness and more trust and more understanding and a stronger relationship for their families. So the post-it note thing is, it's an anchor for the mind, because as soon as you see one of these after you start this process, it zeroes you back into what's important, because it's easy right now in ISO to get comfortable, and a 5-hour workday becomes a 3-hour workday, which becomes a 2-hour workday, which becomes, another couple of days doing nothing, when this is the time to seize the opportunity to get some stuff done. Not work yourself into the ground, but get some stuff done. I've probably never been more productive in my career right now, because I'm really zoning in on what's important. And so these are a good anchor as well.
Yep, love the post-it notes. My career started with those, Jet. I was when I was smashing the phones, I would use a post-it note to do 1, 2, 3, 4 calls, and then 5, and then stick it up. And I knew myself, for every 20 phone calls, I'd get an appraisal, and for every 10 phone calls, I'd get a new person in my database. So I just post-it note, post-it note, post-it note. Good anchor.
So how do you feel when you see that now? Does it feel good?
It brings back actually beautiful memories. Also, it's building resilience as well. I remember thinking the daily discipline of doing that. And some of our agents here at OC that kind of, like many, have kind of gone a little bit off track with, the whole disruption. What they've gone back and done is just win one day at a time. Let's just focus on winning tomorrow. And what would winning tomorrow look like? What time would you get up? Would you go for your morning walk? What would you eat for breakfast? Just
clear the list
and just win one day, and then then win the next day. So, mate, really appreciate your time. Always great hints and tips, and like the mindset coaching around perspective, optimism, resilience, taking responsibility. Great to catch up, Jeff. You're a gentleman and a champion. Thank you,
mate. All good.